Hey everybody. So, a lot of you guys watch my channel for a number of reasons. I mean, one of them primarily being that I'm a silver stacker, that I believe in silver. Silver is a store of wealth and value. And, I practice what I preach as well. So, on this channel, I will show off whenever I get some new silver in. I like to show some of the cool stuff off that I have when I get different designs, or even when I just do an unboxing, things like that. I also like to talk to experts in the industry, so I'll be calling around to different coin shops around the US. I've had interviews with people such as a person from SD Bullion as well, to kind of get his thoughts and their thoughts on what the market's doing at any given particular time. Now, of course, as I said, I believe in silver as a store of wealth. I think that it's very undervalued, and I think it's something that everyone should really be putting at least a little bit of their portfolio into. I certainly do, and I believe in silver very greatly. Now, a lot of people, and I get negative comments, I get thumbs down when I say what I'm about to say, but I'm not an alarmist, I'm not a doomsdayer, so at the end of the day, I don't believe that silver is going to skyrocket to $100 overnight. If I did, I'd put every dollar I had into it, but I just don't believe it's there. Now, do I believe that silver is worth $100 an ounce? I think it probably should be worth at least $100 an ounce, especially since it continues to be used in industry, especially the tech industry and the green energy industry. And, eventually we are going to run into dwindling supply. Now, is that going to be anytime soon? Likely not. There's plenty of silver out there for people to be able to trade and get their hands on. And I'm certainly not going to come in here and scream, fire, fire, everyone go out and spend every dollar on silver, because I don't believe that. And I would never put something on my channel that I don't believe just to get clicks. I'm not going to run out to the world and say silver is going to be $250 tomorrow, you should buy every ounce possible, because I don't believe it. So I'm not going to say it. Even if it's going to get me more clicks, more views, more subscribers, if I don't believe it, I'm not going to say it. So, there will be a couple of people that say I'm crazy, that say, of course, silver is going to be $100 by next week, or it's going to be $100 next year, or watch what happens. Silver, there's 3 days left. Get your silver while you can. It's running out. You're never going to be able to find it again. And I'll be honest with you, that's just not the case. I mean, if we run into a situation where silver goes to 40 or 50, you are going to see a lot of people taking profits. That is going to put a little bit more physical silver in the market. I believe that people will be going into your local coin shops and things like that, and at least getting rid of some of the silver, especially the people that have been hanging on the silver since, in 2011, 2012, when it hit almost $50 an ounce, and then it took that big drop. There's a lot of people that have been sitting on a lot of that silver, and I think if it gets to that number, which I do think it will eventually, hopefully within the next few years, but very slowly, I don't want it to go quick, but very slowly, I think when it gets there, you will see some people turn that silver back in as well. There's a lot of silver out there, guys. Silver has been being sold, as a way to stack for a very long time. There's a lot of people that hold a lot of silver. We're talking, thousands and thousands of ounces, and I'm not talking about the 1,000-ounce Comex bars either. I'm talking about people like me and you that have been holding it for a long time. Now, the things that I believe about silver, I don't just believe them because I want to believe them, or do they think I should believe them. I think there's a lot of factors that go into play here. I think when you look at silver on the market, when you look at what it used to be and what it trades for today, if you look at the amount of silver that's being traded on paper silver versus the amount of physical silver being traded, it would absolutely blow your mind. In fact, right now, for every ounce of silver that's been mined, there's 188 ounces of paper silver being traded on the Comex. I think that number is being suppressed. I think it's being controlled. I think it's being manipulated. I really do. I think big banks like JP and them want to keep the silver price low so that they can continue to stack and increase their position in the metal. I think that, again, like I said, because of green energy and things like that, I think even they know that silver is going to go up, and it's a really good way to store some wealth. Now, silver is not the only place you can go. Of course, I believe in gold and other precious metals. Also, I'm not a negative person when it comes to crypto. It's not really my thing. I have a little bit, but not much. I'm not a huge crypto proponent like a lot of people are, but I don't dismiss it like a lot of people do as well. So it might be a good way to put some of your money into. It's just not something that I really believe in wholeheartedly, but at the same time, I've seen it going around long enough. I've seen the price move the way it does. I've seen the people's confidence in cryptocurrency go up so much that I think that that Bitcoin and Ethereum and the other cryptocurrencies probably aren't ever going to crash back down to zero. Do I think it's a little bit overpriced right now, or maybe in a bubble? Yeah, I do believe that it's probably going to come down at some point, but I don't disbelieve in it. I think, at this point, that it is a real a real asset that people can hold on to. Now, I don't believe in it personally for a number of reasons. Of course, if we ever do have, a doomsday scenario, which again, I said I'm not a doomsdayer, but at the end of the day, if we ever have power grid issues, it's going to be really hard to access your cryptocurrency when it's contained on the blockchain that you can't get access to because you don't have access to the internet because the infrastructure is down. So that's something to look at as well. And that's also the reason that I don't believe in paper silver. I don't believe in holding on to paper silver. If you're going to have silver, it should be something physically that's in your hand that you can access when needed. And when the price of those goes up, I think everyone's going to be pretty happy, at least those that are stacking it. And I don't think it's going anywhere but up. I mean, of course, there's going to be dips. It's going to go up and down over time, but I think eventually, it will slowly creep up. And a lot of that has to do with the amount of money that is being created right now. I mean, the M2 money supply is absolutely insane. In fact, it's moved up so much over the last decade that I don't think you guys... if you ever look at it, it would probably blow your mind how much more paper money is actually out there today than there was even 10 years ago. Or if you look at our national debt, and if you look at the trend of national debt, if you go to usdebtclock.org, we can actually go over there and look at it if you guys want to in this video. I think it would blow your mind to see some of the numbers. In fact, why don't we go over there and take a look? Okay, so here we are at the U.S. National Debt Clock, and if we take a look, we're sitting at almost $28 trillion in debt. We should have a live stream when it's so close that we know it's going to hit, which won't be very long. It's kind of astronomical to look at, but you know what I was talking about over here on the right here? If we look right here, this is your paper to silver dollar ratio. Let me get a little bit more zoomed in for you guys to see it. So you can see our paper to silver ratio is 188.27 to 1, almost 190. And so what that means is for every physical ounce of silver that is mined, almost 190 ounces are being traded on the COMEX. And if you look at gold, it's 87.91 to 1, or almost 8. And even crypto right here, and I can't scroll down anymore, I guess. There we go, is 11.07 to 1. If we look at the amount of the dollar to silver ratio, so the dollar to silver ratio is the increase in M2 money supply for the year versus the year over year versus the amount of silver being mined year over year. So basically for every dollar that's entering the M2 money supply, or every ounce of silver that's entering the physical silver supply, $4,882 are entering the M2 money supply, which is absolutely insane. And if we take a look at our current U.S. M2 money supply, it's 19.692 trillion, guys. That's trillion with a T. And what M2 money supply is, basically it's circulating currency plus savings bonds, checking accounts, deposits, and things like that. So it's basically the amount of money that's easily accessible out there in the world. Now, the thing about this number right here is, again, 19 trillion, but it's obviously not always been 19 trillion. So the beauty of the debt clock is we can look at our history. So if we click this button and go back to 2016, the M2 money supply only 4.5 years ago was 13 trillion. So in the last 4-ish years, it has increased by what is that? That's like 40%. But what's really scary about this is if we go back to today, we look at our U.S. national debt at 27.952 trillion and $19 trillion in the money supply. And if we scroll over and we just fast forward at the current rate, so what this means, guys, is if at current rates, this continues to grow like it is, if we just go forward 4 years, we go from 29 to $49 trillion in national debt. If we scroll down, the M2 money supply at the current rate is going to go from 19 to $49 trillion. I literally started laughing when I was saying this last part, so I apologize about the cut. But yesterday, the Fed chairman quite literally said in a public interview with the House committee that the printing of money does not lead to inflation. Let me show you that clip right now. This is going to blow your mind. All right, guys. Well, I got my headphones on so I can kind of watch it and react with you. Let's see what he has to say. He quite literally said that, let's just watch and you'll see what I'm talking about.
What would you say constitutes sound money?
Well, the public has confidence in the currency, which they do, which the world does. That's really what it comes down to, that people believe that the United States currency is perfectly reliable and stable in value.
Sure.
Okay, so as a store of value, it clearly isn't stable in value. It is not. But as a store of value, the U.S. dollar really, is it diluted as a store of value when M2 goes up by more than 25% in 1 year? Does the printing of more U.S. dollars somehow diminish the value of the dollars that others hold?
You know, there was a time when monetary aggregates were important determinants of inflation, and that has not been the case for a long time. So you'll see, if you look back, the correlation between movements in different aggregates, you mentioned M2, and inflation is just very, very low. And you see that now where inflation is at 1.4% for this year, both.
Yeah.
So that's what he had to say. Now, I don't really agree with what he said. Of course, you can probably look at it from a few different angles. I mean, a lot of people are just going to take their money. They're going to spend it at big box retailers and huge online retailers like Amazon, Walmart, who are just going to store that money in a vault like they've done all the other money, which I guess in that way, it's not going to really create inflation. But I'm a staunch believer in the fact that if there's more of something, there's going to be less demand for it. If there's one of something and 10 people want it, it's worth a lot. But if there's 100 of something and only 10 people want it, then it's not worth near as much. And granted, money is much more complicated than that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to generalize it in that scenario, but my point is just like some of the other countries, as you've seen, they go through hyperinflation. The more the money that's just being created out of thin air with nothing backing it, I think that really is going to lead us down a rabbit hole of our money just not being worth as much. You've already started to see it. I mean, he pointed to just over a point of inflation, but I don't think we've really started down that hole yet. I think the hyperinflation, while we're not going to hit hyperinflation, I think the inflation that's going to come from all this extra money creation just out of thin air, I think that's going to you're going to start to see those effects over the course of the next few years. And so, like I said, I don't like having all of my eggs in one basket, and that includes the U.S. money. I much prefer to get it out of fiat and put it into something like silver or gold or crypto or whatever, mind you, you feel more comfortable with. But again, don't take everything that you have and throw it all in one basket, and certainly don't strap yourself so low down that you won't be able to pay your bills and you won't have emergency cash, backup to be able to pay for things that are going to come up in life. But for someone that may have a bunch of money sitting in the bank account that's literally not doing anything, I personally feel that putting that into something other than fiat is a good idea. But again, that's my opinion. Please, before you make any decisions like that, because those are huge decisions, you want to always go talk to an actual professional, someone who does this for a living, that's a licensed professional, that's been in the industry. Don't take my opinion or any opinion from any random YouTuber, because honestly, we might be just as full of crap as that guy is. I mean, come on. The truth is, you really don't know where I'm coming from or where the information I'm getting to you comes from as well, what my experience is. So you don't want to just take it from me or anyone else. Just go see a licensed professional, somebody that you trust, before you make big financial decisions like that. What I say doesn't matter. It's just my opinion. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share all that with you. That is why I stack silver. That's why I feel most people should stack silver as well. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Learned a little bit, at least from my perspective or my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, do me a favor down below, leave a comment. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss future video notifications as well. Of course, we'll be releasing more videos like this, as well as other videos like the talked about at the beginning, like silver unboxings and sharing silver and things like that. So if you don't want to miss out on those, make sure you subscribe, click the bell. Other than that, guys, we will see you next time. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and have a great day. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I did leave a video above you can check out if you haven't seen it yet. I also want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to my awesome channel supporters scrolling right there on the right hand of the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.